Distinguished co-chairs, delegates and friends, thank you for this opportunity to speak on behalf of the major groups for women, Indigenous peoples and trade unions as core actors in all sustainable development. I'm Noelene Nabulivou from Fiji and a member of DAWN. We congratulate the Open Working Group for recognizing the vital role of the major groups in this global process as reflected in Agenda 21 principles and affirmed in the Rio+20 outcome document, The Future We Want. First, as the voices of Indigenous peoples, workers and women, we consider it fundamental that participation rights are reflected in all upcoming SDG and post-2015 development agenda processes. This therefore requires a concrete translation into all areas of this future work, and further we recommend highest attention to interlinkage analysis of planned thematic and other consultations. Second, our three major groups are convinced that this discussion should lead us to a transformative process, encompassing the three dimensions of sustainability while ensuring strongest human rights implementation, gender equality, social and environmental justice. But for this to happen, the post-2015 framework must be anchored in solid democratic governance rules, as well as consistent with the carrying capacity of this earth. Any goals, targets, and indicators that are developed by this process must respond to the urgent need to address the multiple global crises that humanity faces and to deal with the structural causes. Third, in order to move from piecemeal approaches and radically transform people's reality on the ground, a rights-based approach is needed throughout. But what does that mean? It requires shifting from ad hoc projects towards consistent regulations and policies, moving from reparation toward prevention and eradication of all forms of sexual and gender-based violence. It requires shifting from ad hoc safety nets to solid social protection systems, and from insecure employment to decent work, and so the list goes on. Today, exclusion, discrimination, and violence prevent women and girls, informal workers, Indigenous groups, and many others around the world from full participation in sustainable development. Addressing multiple causes and impacts of exclusion is necessary to ensure that all the benefits of this new sustainable development agenda are equitably shared by all. Finally, our groups have put together a number of concrete areas of work as contributing to a transformative and forward-looking vision of this sustainable development agenda. This includes respect for the rights of Indigenous peoples as enshrined in the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, including the right to free, prior and informed consent, gender equality as a discrete area of focus as well as integrated across other focus areas, so as to recognize and fully address the unequal and unfair burdens of women and girls in sustaining societal care and well-being that is further exacerbated in times of economic and ecological crisis. Social protection as a universal set of guarantees providing access to health and income protection for maternity, unemployment for the aged and the disabled. We require decent work as the provision of employment opportunities, respectful of labour standards and gender equality. So we look forward to this important shared work, and thank you for your time, distinguished chair, state delegates and friends.